Hey all, let's talk about the Mets some more. As we all wait to see what kind of prospects we might get in some of these trades, take a look where we left off in the season story. Mets just got done playing the best two teams in the league at Milwaukee and back home against the Dodgers, losing 2 of 3 in both series. After winning the last game against the Dodgers to avoid the sweep, we get our division rivals, Atlanta Braves, coming to town. They're leading the NL East by 5.5 games over the Phillies. So all the first place teams in a row without Soto now, and trade talks looming everywhere. Just a lot going on. One player that's not going to be traded is Zach Thornton, taking advantage of some of the starting pitcher failures, removals, injuries. Zach found his way in the starting rotation, and he looks here to stay. Coming into this game with a streak of 18 scoreless innings, making his 5th career start. Thornton's finding himself, proving that he can be part of the new core. Zach's coming into this one with as I mentioned, 18 inning scoreless streak. He would see that streak ended in the first inning. Against Atlanta, they had consecutive singles by Ronald Acuna and Drake Baldwin to lead off the first. Matt Olson hit into a double play, but then a single by Albies scored Acuna. The Mets would tie it back up in the bottom when Ewing will get a leadoff single and then score on a triple by Lindor. He was batting righty, hit it right off the top of the wall in right field, and bounced back on the field. Ran third, got a triple in the third inning. Ewing and Lindor combined for 2 runs this time. Ewing singled and stole second to lead off the inning. And then Lindor hit one over the wall this time in left field. Hit off a fan there, so still kind of barely went out, but he hit one out this time off Martin Perez. Then it was the Braves' turn to tie it back up when Thornton walked Matt Olson start the inning, and the next batter, Albies, hit a home run. The score stayed 3-3 until the 6th inning when Tyrone Taylor got on base for Marcus Semien, who hit his 12th home run of the season. Thornton faced the one lefty batter in the 7th, Michael Harris. Got him out, and then he was relieved by Huascar Braziban for the next 2 outs. The Mets would go on to score 9 runs in the next 2 innings, highlighted by Lindor's second home run of the game. This one was a 3-run shot, also from the right side. Daniel Duarte, he allowed nothing else for the Braves, and the Mets win 14-3 in this one, taking game 1 of the series. See Thornton, 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 3 runs against, 6 hits, and 1 walk. He was relieved by Braziban, finished off 7th there. He had a strikeout, lowering his season ERA to 2.66 at that point. Duarte, last 2 innings, 3 strikeouts. Got Lindor with the big game, 3 for 5, 2 home runs, a triple, and 6 RBIs. Semien, 3 for 4, the home run, 2 RBIs. Mets in this one, 19 hits, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts, and the 14 runs, obviously. So game 2, supposed to be Tuesday night. It got rained out, setting up a day-night doubleheader on Wednesday. Pitching in first game was Sean Manaea. Sean's throwing a bit better lately, getting his ERA down to around 4.5 since his past few starts. Could be a lot lower, but we just can't seem to avoid the home run balls in some of these games. Through 4 innings, he allowed only 2 singles. And then in the 5th, he gave up a 2-out single to Eli White, then hit Joey Bart. putting 2 on base for Ronald Acuna, but he was able to get Acuna to line out to end the threat there. Mets to score 2 in their fourth, where Tyrone Taylor walked to lead off the inning, and a Beatty single, and then Francisco Alvarez brought in Taylor with a double. Beatty scoring from third on a sac fly by Ewing. Drake Baldwin would lead off the sixth with a double. Then Matt Olson tied up the game with a home run off Manaea, but he was able to escape further damage there. But that was the end of his day. Brazoban came in through a 1-2-3 seventh, and the Mets took the lead back in their half. Ewing and Lindor would both walk with 1 out. Bichette came up. He lined 1 out to move Ewing over to third with 2 outs. Next batter, Carson Benz roped a double down the line, scoring Ewing, but Lindor was held at third. I'm not entirely sure how Lindor didn't score there on a 2-out double. Maybe they didn't want to push him. I don't know, but right away off the bat, I was thinking 2 runs. Anyway, Weaver got a strikeout and a double play in the 8th. In the 9th, Williams allowed a 2-out single, then a stolen base, but was able to strike out Austin Riley to end the game, stranding the tying run at second base. So, look at the overview. Sean Manaea, 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, only the 2 earned runs on 5 hits and 2 walks. Brazoban, Weaver, and Williams finished them off. Williams with the save. Big strikeout to end the game with the tying run on base. Ben's 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Ewing 1 for 2 with a little bit of everything. RBI, a run, a walk, stolen base. Alvarez 1 for 4 with a double and an RBI. So here we go. We got the Mets going for the season series sweep, I should say, and doubleheader sweep as well against Atlanta. Got Christian Scott on the mound in this one, coming in with a 3.13 ERA, 78 strikeouts, and 63 innings. Unfortunately for him and the Mets hitters, they'd be facing Chris Sale, and they wouldn't be able to do shit against him. Scott was able to match zeros with Sale through 5 innings, but he had a 26-pitch inning in the 5th, and it seemed to wear him out a little bit. In the 6th, he came out, allowed a leadoff double to Jarvis, then a single to Baldwin. He struck out Acuna, though, in a big spot, which set up the potential double play. With Olson at the plate, he was able to poke one through up the middle, scoring Jarvis and giving the Braves a 1-0 lead. Scott allowed another base runner with a walk to Albies in that inning, but got out of the 6th with no more runs. So then, he gives Sale the lead, and he shut down the Mets in the 6th before leaving the game after that. A.J. Minter came in along with Perez and Duarte. They shut the Braves out for the last 3 innings. However, after all that time being shut down by Sale, getting only 2 hits on 9 strikeouts, Mets couldn't touch the relievers either, with only a walk by Tyrone Taylor, and it finished the game and ended 1-0 score. So you got Scott doing his best to match wits with Sale there. Went 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. Got the loss, only giving up the 1 run on 5 hits and 1 walk. A.J. Minter, inning pitch, 2 strikeouts. Perez and Duarte, inning pitch each. The Mets only had 2 hits in this one and 1 walk, along with the 12 strikeouts. Benj 1 for 3. Wagaman, the other hit. Series overview: Mets now 46-33. Yeah, right. I wish 46-63 record. And we are now 6-4 against Atlanta on the season. We only play them 3 more games, so as long as we can avoid getting swept there, will take the season series from them. See the Mets outscored Braves 17-6. So yeah, couldn't get the sweep, but hey, it's nice taking out these first place teams. Really, any team that's in the run for a playoff spot. Like I said, it's something to look forward to. Just playing a little bit of spoiler. Teams think they're going to come in and beat us, especially now without Soto in there. Teams really licking their chops, trying to get some wins off the Mets. But yeah, took the Braves out in this one. Division rivals, always good. Obviously, don't really want to help them or the Phillies, at least in my book. But anytime we play them head to head and can do some damage to their season, I'll take it. So yeah, like I said, we're waiting to see what drops here over the weekend up until the trade deadline. Mets were able to make a move on Thursday night into Friday. They shipped off A.J. Minter to the Twins. He was one of the guys on my list, kind of an obvious candidate to be traded since he's going to be a free agent after the season. So he was moved for a couple prospects. Not too big on following the prospects' names or anything, other than I know you need to have prospects. And I, really want to see the Mets build up their farm system a little bit from where it was. Obviously, we graduated a couple guys onto the team over the past 2 years, and hopefully going to continue to do that. So, also traded a couple of them away, guys that could have helped out this year. But, got to kind of increase your chances by getting as many good prospects as you can. In this case, for a guy that's, going to leave in free agency, team is just going to rent him for the rest of the season, basically. So we got this guy, Billy Amick. I believe he's in Double-A in the Twin system. I think they said he has 23 home runs, so that's more than anyone else really on the Mets or in the Mets minors has. And also Bruin Agbayani, the 19-year-old son of Benny Agbayani, who, many longtime Mets fans know that name well. He was the left fielder on the 1999 and 2000 playoff teams. Obviously, the 2000 team won the National League pennant, went to the World Series, lost to the Yankees, Subway Series, all that good stuff. Blah, blah, blah. We don't want to talk about that, but hey, we got to the World Series that year. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate we ran up against a juggernaut because those teams are pretty good. I especially like the 99 team. I think having the John Olerud on the team was kind of the deciding factor as far as which team I like better out of those, although the 2000 team did win the NLCS and got to the World Series but lost. So I like the 99 team better. Anyway, there's, all this weekend, there's going to be more trade talk, a lot of speculation going on about some other names that could be moved in addition to the obvious ones that we mentioned with the guys about to hit free agency. Personally, I don't really see anything shocking coming up. Obviously, the Mets they say they're open to listening to any of their players except the ones they specifically put on the no-touch list. We know who they are: Soto, Benj, Ewing, McLean, Christian Scott, probably Thornton as well. Lindor's been left off these so-called lists. And as I mentioned, Stearns didn't take the opportunity to kind of squash that in the press conference he gave last Friday. I spoke on that. I thought it was kind of odd. I kind of wish he would have ruled that out just to stop the talk about it, because I don't think it's going to happen. Not during the trade deadline period, at least. So, and I doubt it even in the off season, but we'll see. Things can change. So, like I said, the guys that we know are going to be moved or are most likely going to go. Peralta, Clay Holmes, probably like I'd say like a 90% chance, maybe 80 to 90% chance, just in my opinion. I don't know. And then you got Brooks Raley. See if anyone wants Robert. They might. I don't know. But I don't think any of the other names being thrown around have any merit to them possibly being moved. Like Alvarez, he's been talked a lot, or him or Torrens being moved. I don't know. I like our catch and combo. I don't want them to move Weaver. We could keep him, have him and Brazaban. I'd like them to keep both of them. Just keep the back of the bullpen solid, just with the question marks that we might have in our rotation next year. So it leads me into my next topic, just looking at the potential starting rotation, at least, who's going to be the top 5. I think we can safely say McLean, Christian Scott will be on full strength next year. Zach Thornton's making his case. I think he's pretty much claimed a spot, at least to compete in spring training. But I mean, if he continues doing what he's doing this season, I think he's pretty much a lock for one of those spots. We still got Manaea under contract, so that's 4. We'll say 4 guaranteed, at least at this point, with who's on the team right now. And then just looking at some other names, we got Senga coming back. He's been terrible this year, so who knows what they want to do with him, whether bring him back, assuming he's completely healthy after a full off season, or they might pay a team to take him away or give him away, just if someone's willing to take on the end of his contract there. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure if that's the case, we'll have to at least eat some of the money. Jonah Tong could get a look again this year. Jack Wenninger, hasn't really progressed in AAA as we were hoping he would, but could see him during the last 2 months of this season. Got this guy Jonathan Santucci was just promoted to AAA. He's zooming up the Mets prospect list. If he could put up a couple solid outings in AAA, we might even see him pitch for the Mets going into the end of the season. Or as we all know, no one's kind of set with 5 or 6 starters. Usually go into the season with like 9 or 10. Just having that depth due to injury or non-performance or whatever you want to call it. So I could see them bringing in 2 or maybe even 3 free agents of varying levels of expectations for them. Maybe like a mid rotation guy, if they can get him on like a 1-year contract. Really, just innings eaters would be great with all these young guys coming up, and then Manaea doesn't typically go too deep in games unless he's just completely on fire. which hasn't really happened since 2024. So yeah, like I said, if things keep going as they are this season, and that is a big if at times in Mets land, but I think we got four of our spots settled. I hope I'm not speaking too soon on Thornton, but I like what I see with him pitching. He seems like he knows really how to pitch. Has a decent arsenal of different types of pitches, and just hits his spots and throws strikes. He's not gonna blaze a 98, 99 on the gun, but his effectiveness comes with him hitting spots. So yeah, that's looking ahead. I mean, obviously a lot of things can happen between now and the beginning of next season's spring training, if we even have a season. That the talks between the league and the players union are, kind of casting a shadow even on this trade deadline, I would imagine, and just the strategies of these front offices. And then we'll see how that plays out going into the winter. Hopefully they can get something worked out. I mean, base MLB is pretty successful right now as far as making money. Everyone's making money. So I think that will kind of overrule either side's need to get everything they want, or versus risking the season. I think there's just too much money involved where they're going to come to some kind of a compromise on a lot of these issues. Then the main one is seemingly the idea of a salary cap or salary floor, or whatever version of a plan they want to go to. But that seems to be kind of like the main change that's going to affect most of these teams. There's a lot of other things they're negotiating, like drafting, international draft, just all those other things. But it seems like the main force behind any of this is either side's stance on putting up a hard salary cap or changing the levels that they're using for the luxury tax. And that could also be coupled with a potential salary floor for some of these teams that are kind of like welfare teams, or they're getting money from the league and still not really putting it out there as far as player salaries. So something's going to have to give with that. But like I said, I don't think they're going to want to risk not having a portion of the season, if not canceling the entire season, which would just be devastating for baseball in the short term. But hey, for now, we're gonna just look at this upcoming trade deadline, see what plays out there, see if the Mets can get anything useful towards maybe for the rotation next year or in the near future. Maybe a couple bats to restock the shelves in their system. We'll see how it goes. It just depends on how bad these guys want our players, specifically Peralta and Holmes. I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring the biggest return. So, hey Stearns, you got a chance here to, get some positives out of this season that's been pretty much a total failure, at least in the big picture. So, hey, I'll catch up with you guys again on Monday. We'll recap the series. We're currently playing against the Marlins. I'll make a video on that. It's a 4-game series, and by then we should have a little more clarity in the trade picture. So, hey, I'll talk to you all then. Have a good weekend. Let's go Mets.